Um, speaking of changes, you know, you went from Matthew Boast to Matthew Beast at the Warriors. Did you make any changes to say your bowling or mindset? What is it that you did personally, in addition to the team dynamics that has helped you to get into this new frame that you are now?
I think there's been one or two changes mentally. I feel a lot more confident at the moment. Like getting back through Robbie and getting that constant game time, like you build a lot of confidence and you know that you got people behind you that back you, and that changes your mentality a lot. I know when I wasn't playing, it's quite tough because your bowling in the nets is your trials every day, and you giving it your all. Not saying I don't give my all now, but it's almost like you train and that's it, and you don't get any reward for it. But now when you're training, you're feeling good and you take the momentum into the games. And yeah, I think that's probably been my biggest change, like adjusting, knowing that I'm going to play, has made a big difference in my game. There's been a few little tweaks every now and then with my action, but nothing too serious. Um, but yeah, it's mainly been a mental thing for me this season, and being back has made a huge difference.
Mm. Yeah, because cricket, I would say, is a confidence game. If you're not feeling confident, then the rhythm doesn't come. And was there a match this season in particular where you ran out there and you walked out feeling, I'm back? Because, a lot of people would look at you and say, during your time at the Titans, they would say, Matthew is better than this. And I think you will also internalize that. Was there a match where you ran out and you walked off the field thinking, this is me, I'm back now?
Yeah, I think the first game that comes to mind would actually be the first game we played at St George's, against Western Province. My girlfriend surprised me, and my mom was there as well, there for my debut game. And my first ball my first ball for the Warriors, I got a wicket, and I was like, "Jeepers, this I can't. It feels like a bit of a dream." And luckily, the rest of that game went pretty well. And yeah, it did. It just felt so nice to be playing and full of confidence. We had such a good preseason. My body was feeling the best it's ever felt, in terms of bowling fitness, and yeah, it did feel like a little bit of a welcome back. And yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Mm. And when I look at you, you are a KZN boy, um, who carved his name in the Highveld, and now you're advancing your career in the Eastern Cape in Kabeja. That's quite a bit of movement. Can you tell me how it worked out for you to move from KZN to first to the Titans?
Yeah, so we had a under 19 trials. It was like the possibles versus the probables, and I was in the possibles side. And luckily we did pretty well, and we beat the probables. And this was at Tux when I was in matric. And my plan was always to go to Stellenbosch or to Cape Town and go study there. And then I had a nice chat with Kruger van Wyk on the side of the field, and he was just telling me about the pipeline and the facilities and the coaching, and yeah, basically how successful Tux has been. And I was blown away. We were obviously at Groenkloof, which is close to the main campus of Tux, and yeah, I decided I'm gonna go there, and Kruger played a huge part in that, and I'm so grateful that he did because I absolutely loved my time there. Um, Obviously started off at Tux, signed an academy contract for Titans, when I got over there. Um, and yeah, from then it went from strength to strength, went to all the trainings when I could, and then got my rookie contract after a year at Tux. Yeah, I got my rookie contract at the Titans, and yeah, then which I owe so much to Tux. They were so like lenient with me going to go train there, and often offered me extra training where I needed. And yeah, I loved my time in Pretoria. It was was really special. Obviously, didn't get as much game time as I would have liked early on, but I think lots of people and most youngsters go through that when you're carrying drinks and you're earning your spot. Um, and yeah, very grateful for my time over there. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, look, I would agree that, everyone wants to play. You want to play every game, but then on the other hand, when you have a team like the Titans that has so much talent, like it's so big as a team, not just
Mm,
the union, but the team is so big and there's so much experience in there. It's difficult for a youngster to get game time. But
100%.
while you were on the sidelines carrying drinks and everything else, what were some of the lessons you learned from being around, the Lungingidis of this world and all the other pacers that are in the Titan stable?
Yeah, so obviously it's the Titans are stacked with Proteas, and as I mentioned earlier, our trials was basically the nets every time we went to go train. Because everyone's fighting for a spot. The competition is so fierce, and it's very competitive. But learned so much bowling to those Proteas. Like I know everyone says you learn the most in game time, which is so true. You get a lot more experience, but like just the small things, bowling to them in the nets, they obviously don't hold back as much as if they're in a game and they're going after you even more. So I think I learned a lot just bowling to them, and yeah, I remember getting lots of tips from Junior Dala. He was unreal with me. At the Titans, he was always someone that I could go to speak about my action and where my game was at. He was always very inquisitive about how, say, my Tux games had gone, or if I was playing any cricket, well, like over the weekend when they were playing, and yeah, I owe lots to him. Um, and yeah, I learned so much. It was just a different time compared to now. Like looking back, it was I thought training was like the be all and end all, and now that I'm playing, I understand that training is just there to facilitate you so you're in the right state for your match. And back then, I used to go full tilt every training session, obviously trying to break way into the side. Um, but yeah, I learned so much, and I'm so grateful for my time there.
With Junior Dala, was it the KZN connection, or is it just that that's who he is as an individual? He likes to help out w- wherever he thinks he can, or was it, that you guys are from KZN?
I think it's just his personality. He's quite a he's yeah, he's a tough cookie to crack. I know my first year, he's a bit like old fashioned like that. You got to gain his respect and all of that, which I digged about him. But once you get to know him, he's an absolute legend and really looks after the youngsters. I think that's one thing that he does so well is make sure that everybody feels included. And yeah, no, I think it's just in his personality to help out and should give off his experience. And yeah, he was awesome.
Mm. And I want to go back a little bit, like further than the Titans, because there's there's this one time I was at the Supersport offices and I was talking to the Supersport schools gent, um, and your name came up, and then you said to me, "Do you know that he's connected to the is it the Thunder Bills?" And
Yes. Yeah.
and and I said I didn't want to tell him that we had an interview and I knew a little bit, but it's I think for a lot of people it's such a big deal that you have
Yeah.
cricket pedigree in your family. Um, can you tell me if your uncles helped you as a youngster in your progression?
So Vince is my mom's uncle, Vince van der Bijl, and he's been always a person that I can phone to chat about. Obviously, he lives in the Western Cape, and I'm from KZN, so I don't really get to see him that much. But I'm so lucky. He often messages me after every game, and says, "Well done with this. I think you can try this." And he's always there to give me advice, which I'm so happy and so grateful for. yeah, he's been someone that I've looked up to. He's inspired me to be a cricketer. Just what he did with the game and how good he was. If I can have half the career that he had, I'll be more than chuffed. But yeah, he's the guy that I go to if I want to ask any questions, specifically around tactics. I think he's really clued up with that. But yeah, he has helped a lot, and I'm so happy to have someone to contact like him.